If there is one constant thing in the history of most big-name franchises of today, it is the fact that many people do not have a fleeting idea of how the brands came to be, who started the brand, or even the trials these brands have had to withstand to remain in the news. Take a few seconds to ask yourself what you know about Toyota. I bet there are a couple of things that you've never bothered to ask yourself about the brand Toyota. In this video, we would go over the history of Toyota, the start, the current standing, and the shadows of the past. It is impossible to talk about the start of Toyota as an automobile corporation without going into brief details about how the brand came to be. The back on which Toyota rode to stardom dates back to a man born on the 14th of February, 1867. This is Kiichiro Toyoda, the founder and visionary of Toyota Boshoku, a company established in January 1918 as a textile company. There it is, the automobile company the world knows and loves, for everything that the company is today was born from the backs of a textile company. Toyota Boshoku was really just another company that was responsible for making machine tools and parts for industrial looms. This would mean that Toyota Automobile draws its roots from the production of parts of textile machines. How is this possible? This required the impact of the oldest son of Kiichiro Toyoda, Kiichiro Toyoda, born on the 11th of June, 1894. Kiichiro Toyoda, being interested in machines and how they operate from his earlier days, enrolled in the Tokyo Imperial University under the Faculty of Engineering, specifically as a student of the Department of Mechanical Engineering in 1920. It would take him years to complete his degree, and almost a year as he remained at Tokyo Imperial University's Faculty of Law for 7 months before he returned to help out his father's textile company. To make sure that his impact as a mechanical engineering student is felt in the company, Kiichiro traveled to San Francisco, London, and Oldham between July 1921 and February 1922, gaining as much knowledge as he could about the spinning and weaving industry through his journey. A new interest in the automobile industry began to take root in his heart. Kiichiro's return to the family company was met with him being the managing director, as his father saw the designing and creation of the Toyota Automatic Model G loom in 1926, which would later be sold to a British company known as the Platt Brothers in 1929, in a bid to gather seed money to begin the creation of automobiles. The talks of an automobile company began in earnest, and the first Toyota Industries Corporation was established in 1933. But it was not until 3 years later, in 1936, that the Automotive Manufacturing Act designated it as a licensed automobile company. To mark and grace the occasion of its licensing, Toyota Industries Corporation unveiled its first vehicle in that same year of licensing, the Model A sedan, which took a striking influence from the Chrysler DeSoto Airflow. With this, Toyota was officially into the production of automobiles. But to succeed in this type of industry would require a lot of perseverance through the storms that the company would come to face soon after. But just before the woes began, the automobile part of Toyota Industries Corporation became independent of the company and took on the name Toyota Motor Corporation in 1937, just after Kiichiro was elected to be the vice president of the fast-growing company. Consequently, Kiichiro's management is said to be one of the best that the company has ever had for two major reasons. One was the fact that he controlled and made the operation simpler in order to produce more cars on a shoestring. Under his leadership, the company was able to clarify the internal organization. It was divided into 7 divisions, and the purpose and jurisdiction of each division were clearly decided. More so, Kiichiro was said to have reduced the risk of mass-produced cars by being involved not only in mass-produced cars, but also in the manufacture of specialty cars. Through the travails that surround the establishment and the present-day challenges of Toyota Company, we get to understand the slogan a bit more. Toyota Motor Corporation was birthed from the dream of a man, a dream that was managed till it became a country's dream. Kiichiro is said to have opened the path for the Japanese automobile industry, and he is credited for creating from scratch domestic cars that were superior to foreign cars. The first of Toyota's woes began just shortly after the Toyota Motor Corporation was licensed to begin its operations. The Second Sino-Japanese War broke out in 1937, and this war goes down in history as one of the most significant challenges that the Japanese automobile industry ever faced. Of course, Toyota Motor Corporation was not left out of the scene. Following the breakout of the war, the Japanese government restricted automobile production in favor of military products, making passenger car production and purchase difficult. The National General Mobilization Law was passed in 1938 in order to maximize the use of human and physical resources. Under this law, Toyota Motor Corporation was required to prioritize truck deliveries to the military and munitions industries. Furthermore, passenger car production was restricted, and small passenger car production ceased in order to increase military truck production. For a company that started out to be a household name, this was a pretty tedious adjustment to make. Yet this wasn't the only war period that the Toyota Motor Corporation had to withstand. Then came the impact of World War II. This period was categorized by the same events that shaped the Sino-Japanese War: strict control of production. The automobile companies present at this point in time were charged with just one duty: to provide vehicles that would serve the military during the war. However, while one would expect Kiichiro to be fazed by the standing of the company as a result of the current happenings, he remains unfazed and concentrated on thinking about technical problems. He believed that the automobile business would definitely serve post-war Japan and continue to explore the technical issues that could arise. By 1947, things began to fall into place once again. This began with the relaxing of strict control on the production of small passenger cars. However, the damage had been done. Plus, the economic standing was not in favor of automobile companies. This was the period of a severe crash shortage in the automotive sector, leading to many truck owners defaulting on their loans. In the end, Toyota Company was saved by the Bank of Japan, the nation's central bank, and it emerged from its financial crisis at the start of the 1950s as a smaller business. The restructuring made it close down a number of factories and fire employees. In good faith, this was the period where the Korean War began. Due to its proximity to the front lines, the US Army ordered 1,000 trucks from Toyota. The order assisted in significantly enhancing the struggling company's operational performance. In the 21st century, it was as though the problems of Toyota came in pairs. One of sure was the fact that Toyota adversely affected by the global financial crisis of 2008 as a result of being forced to predict its first annual loss in 70 years. In December of the same year, it had to decrease production and inventories of unsold vehicles. And by January of the next year, the company was forced to announce that all of its Japanese plants would be shut down for 11 days. Now, all of this was something to be bothered about, but not as much as the fact that Toyota was forced to recall millions of vehicles between 2009 and 2011. The start of this recall of vehicles was in response to reports that a number of drivers had experienced unexpected acceleration. What were the issues? It would later become apparent that the purpose of these recalls was to stop a floor mat on the front driver's side from sliding into the foot pedal well and trapping the pedals, and also as a means to fix any potential mechanical sticking of the accelerator pedal. While it might seem like nothing, it was reported that these sudden accelerations were linked to the deaths of 37 people who had been victims of sudden accelerations that led to Toyota cars crashing. At the end of the drama, which ensued from Toyota being sued, the company paid $1 billion in settlement of a class action lawsuit to compensate owners for lost resale value, and also had to pay $1.2 billion as a criminal penalty to the US government over claims that it had purposefully concealed information about safety defects and had made misleading statements regarding the 9 million cars and trucks recalled and the reasons for their recall. In the next phase of Toyota's growth, just after the acceleration incident that led to the switch in the leading executive, Toyota and a sizable portion of the Japanese automotive industry experienced a series of natural disasters. The disaster of 2011 was the most adverse to the standing of the leading automobile company. In 2011, the supplier base was severely disrupted by the 2011 Tohoku earthquake and tsunami. This disaster was said to have also caused a decline in production and exports. During this period, Japanese automakers that chose Thailand as a production base were impacted by the severe flooding that occurred during the 2011 monsoon season in Thailand. From reports and estimates, Toyota lost 240,000 units of production due to floods and 150,000 units due to the tsunami. If there is one thing that we can be sure of, it is the fact that while all leadership structures of Toyota Motor Corporation were met with huge setbacks, the legacy set by the pioneer of the dream remained. They continued to manage the communal dream of the company in all of the disappointing phases. After the natural disaster that sent many automobile companies to bankruptcy, Toyota was quick to get back in shape. The road to greatness ever since has been met with great strides. In recent standings, as of 2021, it was the leading motor vehicle manufacturer worldwide based on global sales, overtaking the Volkswagen Group, which dominated the charts in 2020. The Toyota brand is the company's best-selling subsegment, with around 8.9 million units of vehicles sold in 2021. While it might be disappointing that the founder of the household automobile brand wasn't present to see his dream take the shape he wanted, The legacy of Kiichiro Toyoda remains to this present day. Today, Toyota is an automobile brand with a large market base in Southeast Asia, South Asia, the Middle East, and North America.